Chapter 5D, we're mainly focusing on multiplying and dividing decimals by 10, 100, and 1,000. Let's just do the student activity focusing on 5C, Chapter 5C, I mean. So let's just get to it. So 4.75 plus 2.38. 5 plus 8 is 13, carry the 1. 1 plus 7 is 8, 8 plus 3 is 11, carry the 1. 1 plus 4 is 5, 5 plus 2 is 7. Now I got 9.4 minus 3.68. Just remember the rule here, just line up the decimal points, okay? That's what really matters the most. Everything else will come naturally. 0 minus 8 doesn't work, so we have to borrow from the next column over. This now reads as the number 10. So 10 minus 8 is 2. Now 3 minus 6 doesn't work, so we're going to have to cancel and borrow again. This now becomes 13 minus 6, which is 7. And then 8 minus 3 is just 5. Make sure you line up the decimal points like so. Right, a bottle contains 2.5 liters of water. During the day, 0.85 liters is drunk. How much water is left in the bottle? So, just set it up. 2.5. Water's been drunk, so it says here 0.85 has been drunk. So let's just figure this out. 0 minus 5 doesn't work, so you borrow over from the next column. This now reads as 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 4 minus 8 doesn't work, so you're going to have to borrow from the next one. This now reads as 14. 14 minus 8 is 6. And then you got 1 minus 0 is just 1. So there's 1.65 liters left. Okay. Alright, hopefully by the end of this video you can do the following. Well, basically our goal is to learn how to do this. You can multiply decimal by powers of 10, divide by powers of 10, move the decimal point correctly whenever you're multiplying or dividing, okay? Alright. So equivalent decimals. So first off, you got whole numbers. So whole numbers can also be written as decimals. Some examples are listed below. So you got the number 8 is 8.0, 15 is 15.0, 345 is 345.0. Now, just a note. Adding zeros to the right of the decimal point doesn't really change its value. So as you can see what I have done here, 8 equals 8.0. So just to show you, 8 equals to 8.0. But if you write 8.1, that does not equal to 8.0. It changes its value. So let's just get that out of the way. Multiplying by powers of 10. So when you're multiplying by these powers of 10, so there's specific powers of 10, so you got 10, hundreds, and the thousands. We're just focusing on that. So the best thing to do, look at the number of zeros here. So for 10, there's only one zero, so you're moving it once. For 100, there's 2 zeros, so you're moving it twice. For 1,000, there's 3 zeros, so you move it 3 times. Now, when multiplying means to the right, like so. Now, this last stop point here, this is mainly for when you run out of space, but if there are not enough digits, you just add the zeros. So some examples here, 4.28 times 10 So as you can see here, there's 1 0. So find where the decimal point is. You're going to move it to the right one time. So it ends up being here. And what happens now is your answer is 1 decimal point over to the right from where it first started. Now we got this abysmal number here, 5.7839. This is multiplied by 100,000. And there are 5 zeros here. So there's 5 zeros. So what you want to do, find a decimal point, move it over 5 times. So I'll just rewrite it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it actually ends up being here. Now this is where this stop point comes in. Not enough digits, add zeros. So basically what you want to do now is you want to add in an invisible 0 wherever there's a gap. And this becomes your final answer. So your final answer actually ends up being 578,390. Right. Next thing is dividing by powers of 10. So just know that whenever you divide by these powers of 10, you want to move the decimal place towards the left. Same rule as before with the amount of zeros. Like so. You're moving it over to the left by the amount of zeros that you see here. So you got here in my first example, 268.15 divided by 10. So you're going to move it over to the left one time. And now this becomes 26.815. Next you have 7.82 divided by 1,000. So it becomes 7.82. And you're moving it over to the left 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. It ends up here. Basically what you want to do is you just want to add in zeros like you did previously in the empty gaps. So now your final answer actually is 0.00782. Now some common mistakes that people typically make. Many people would think that you just add or remove the zeros. Okay, this doesn't always work. Instead, what you want to do is you want to move the decimal place or the decimal point the correct number of places that you need to go. Okay, so in this example here, you got 2.5 times 100. There's 2 zeros. What people will just do is they just put on the 2 zeros after the 5. And they'll read it as 2.500. That's not right. So make sure that when it's 2.5 like so, you move it over twice. So 1, 2 ends up there. And then you put in the invisible 0. It becomes 250 like so. Okay. These are the questions you got to do. Okay. Take care. Enjoy.